No data, no problem. Zabu allows you to buy or sell securities on the Altex exchange from anywhere in Uganda via USSD. Step 1. To buy, dial *292#. Step 2. Select buy. Step 3. Select the product you would like to buy. For example, bonds. Step 4. Select your preferred maturity year. Step 5. Select the bond you would like to buy. Step 6. Input an amount of 15,000 Ugandan shillings or more. Step 7. Your order has been forwarded for processing. And finally, Step 8. Your order has been confirmed.
Our morning to you all and welcome to the financial markets. Thank you for tuning in, and this is Smart 24 TV. I'm Nampiji Gloria Christine together with
Chiguru Victor.
And we are giving you the latest updates from the Uganda Stock Exchange. What do you have for us, Victor?
Well, as of today, I'm going straight into the details on the Uganda Securities Exchange. Of course, as we closed yesterday, we were looking forward to discussing the latest developments on the Uganda Securities Exchange. And we'll start with some context. Gloria, could you explain to our viewers what the Uganda Securities Exchange is and how it plays a vital role in this country's economy?
Certainly, Victor. The Uganda Stock Exchange, or the US, is actually a prime stock exchange in Uganda. It was established in 1997 as part of the government's shift towards a more market-driven economy. Essentially, it's a platform where buyers and sellers actually come together to trade securities like stocks and bonds. It serves as an essential link actually between companies seeking capital and public looking out to invest. So investors can become part owners of these companies by sharing their shares on the Uganda Securities Exchange.
Well, that is indeed a great summary. And now I know that the Uganda Securities Exchange has some key indices, including the Uganda Securities Exchange All-Share Index. And could you tell us about these indices as well?
And how they work? Well, the Uganda All-Share Index actually is a market-weighted average index that includes all stocks listed on the exchange. It gives an overall picture of how the entire market is performing. The All-Share Index actually with the best value of around 100 as of December 31st. 2000. So many changes have actually happened in this index, and also this actually indicates how the market has evolved since then.
So is it like a benchmark for investors to gauge their market performance?
Exactly, it's a benchmark that helps investors to do this. Actually, analysts and political policy makers and the market's progress over the time. Additionally, the Uganda Securities Exchange also publishes the USE Local Companies Index, which focuses on the performance and the domestic equities of the exchange.
Now, one significant development was the implementation of an automated trading system in July 2015. So, could you explain how this system works and what impact it has had on the Uganda Securities Exchange?
The automated trading system is a computerized platform that actually facilitates the buying and selling of securities. It's designed to streamline and automate the trading process. It's more efficient actually. Before the system, transactions could be took around 5 days to settle, and but with this automation, that has been reduced to just 3 days. So this improvement has significantly increased the liquidity and more trading for the investors.
That's impressive. Well, reduced settlement times can have a big impact on market efficiency, and efficient markets are crucial and very critical for investor confidence and overall economic growth.
Exactly. Now let's take a closer look to some of the companies listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange. You know, we see some familiar names here and there, like the British American Tobacco Uganda. We have Stanbic Bank Uganda, East African Brewers.
Yes.
How do these companies actually contribute to this exchange?
Well, there are some prominent companies listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange, and when they go public and list their shares on the exchange, they're essentially raising capital from the public. Investors can buy shares in these companies, and in return, they become shareholders. So of course this means that they have to stake in the company's performance and profit. Well, this is actually a way for companies to fund their operations and expansion. And while investors have the potential to earn returns through dividends and capital appreciation.
Victor, that's actually a win-win for both the companies and the investors.
That's right. Actually, companies get the capital they need, and investors have the opportunity to grow their wealth.
Let's dive into the recent trading session on the USE. It looks like there were gainers and losers among these listed equities.
Well, Gloria, in the most recent session, which is as of yesterday, there was a mix of gainers and losers, as usual. We are looking at Jubilee Holdings that led the gainers with a significant 4.55% share price appreciation. And of course, this could be due to positive news or developments related to the company. On the other hand, we're looking at East African Breweries, and it had quite a tough day with 3.12% decrease in their share price. So it's not unusual to see fluctuations like this in the market, and investors react to a variety of factors from company performance to broader economic trends.
Interesting, and these stock prices can actually be influenced by many factors.
Absolutely. Actually, that is why it's crucial for investors to stay informed and diversify their portfolios to manage their risk.
Interesting. So that's actually wise advice, Victor. So we noticed Umeme actually had the highest trading volume. What can we infer from that?
When a stock has a high trading volume, it means there's a lot of interest and activity around that particular stock. So Umeme Limited, an electricity distribution company, saw a significant volume of 499,128 traded shares. And this could be due to, of course, various factors such as the release of company results or news about the energy sector. But high trading volumes can also indicate increased liquidity, which is generally a positive sign for the market at large.
Interesting. Thank you for clarifying that, Victor. So it's actually interesting to see how these trading volumes are sentiment to the market.
Indeed. Actually, trading volumes are a valuable indicator of market sentiment and can provide insights into investor behavior.
Let's talk about those market indices like the all-share index, the local company index. Did they have any movements?
Well, certainly. And looking at the all-share index, we are seeing this represents the entire market. So it showed a slight decline of 0.07% in the last session. Actually, this was influenced by various factors, and we're looking at particularly global economic conditions, political developments, and other sector-specific news. So it is essential for investors to monitor these indices as they provide context for performance.
What about the USE local company index? How did it perform?
Well, the local company index increased by 0.51% in the same session, and this index focuses on domestic equities, which include companies that are based and operate within Uganda. A rise in this index could actually suggest positive sentiment towards the local businesses and potentially a stronger local economy.
It's actually fascinating to see how these indexes can actually provide insights into the market.
Precisely.
Now, Victor, for our viewers who might be new to investing, and what are some basic steps they should consider when looking to invest in the Uganda Securities Exchange?
Well, Gloria, there's a lot of it's a broad question, and there's a lot of factors to take in hand with when it comes to investment within this particular market. And for beginners, the first step is to understand your financial goals and risk tolerance. Are you looking for long-term wealth growth, or do you prefer short-term gains? It is also essential to do your research on the companies you're interested in. So look at their financial reports, track record, and industry trends, and don't forget to diversify your portfolio to spread risk. Lastly, actually consider consulting with financial advisors. This is, of course, to ensure that you're making well-informed decisions.
Exactly, and those are wise tips, Victor. And investigating can actually be complex, actually. So getting expert advice might do the trick, actually. Now let's talk about the Uganda Securities Exchange market capitalization. What's the current figure?
Currently, we are looking at 16.1 trillion Ugandan shillings, and it represents a total value of the securities listed on the exchange. The market capitalization indicates the collective value of all companies and securities on the Uganda Securities Exchange. It's actually an essential number to watch because as changes in market capitalization can reflect the overall health of the stock market at large. So a rising market cap often shows a rising market value.
Interesting. It's actually a great indicator of the market's performance.
It really is.
Now, looking at our gainers and losers in the last trading session, do you have any particular companies to look out for?
Well, Gloria, investors should keep an eye on Jubilee Holdings. And it was the top gainer in the last session. Such a significant gain can be due to various factors, as I mentioned. So it is worth watching to see if this trend continues. And conversely, East African breweries experienced a significant loss. If investors are holding shares in this company, they may not want to monitor it closely and consider the reasons behind this decline.
Exactly, and it's all about staying informed and reacting to these market changes. Now, looking at Umeme's limited high trading volume, what does this mean for the company and the investors?
Well, Umeme's high trading volume suggests that there's a lot of interest in the company's shares, and it could be due to new earnings and new reports, or even general market sentiment regarding the energy sector. So for investors in Umeme, the increased trading volume can lead to more liquidity, making it easier to buy or sell shares. However, it's important to remember that high trading volumes can also introduce volatility. So investors should exercise caution as usual.
Good point, Victor. And volatility could actually present both opportunities and risks. Now, looking at all these indexes, the all-share index showing a slight decline, the local company index increased. How should investors actually interpret these ones?
Investors should consider these movements in context of their investment goals. And a small decline in the all-share index all-share index doesn't actually necessarily indicate a market crash, and it might reflect short-term fluctuations, and that is it. But on the other hand, the rise in the local company index could signify positive sentiment towards local businesses. So investors should remember that markets go through ups and downs, and a well-diversified portfolio can help you manage these fluctuations.
So diversification is the key to manage this volatility in the market. So thank you, Victor, for those insights. Considering our companies, let me see the top gainers, the top losers, looking at a company like Stanbic, could you take us through?
Well, certainly, going into deeper information about Stanbic's recent performance, they had quite a previous week, and they are still shooting for the skies as we speak. But to kick off things, let's provide our viewers with a little background on Stanbic Bank Uganda. Well, this institution has a long and a storied history with roots dating back to 1906. So can you share more about this journey?
Certainly, our Stanbic Bank Uganda actually has a rich history that stretches back to over a century. It was originally actually founded as the National Bank of India in 1906, so making it one of the earliest banks in Uganda. So over time, it's underwent several names changes and eventually become the Gwendale's Bank. So when the Stanbic Bank Group acquired the Gwendale's network in Africa, Stanbic Bank established its presence in Uganda. It's noteworthy that the Stanbic Bank Group is one of Africa's financial service providers, which adds to the significance of Stanbic Bank in Uganda.
It's actually incredible to think about the transformations and the legacy behind this institution. So fast forward to today, and Stanbic Bank Uganda is listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange. So could you explain what it means for the bank to be publicly listed and traded under a ticker symbol?
Absolutely, Victor. When a bank or any company for that matter is publicly listed, it means that its shares are available for purchase by the public through a stock exchange. In this case, Stanbic Bank Uganda is listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange, which allows investors to buy and sell its shares. Each listed company actually is assigned a unique ticker symbol. In this case, we have SBU for Stanbic Bank. It's what signifies the bank actually on the stock market.
SBU is like the code that investors use to track and trade Stanbic Bank's shares. But it's also it's a convenient shorthand for identifying the stock and allows for efficient trading and tracking of its performance.
Yeah, and I see that Stanbic Bank actually is currently the fourth most traded stock on the USE with a market capitalization of 1.69 trillion. So could you tell us more about the capitalization and what this figure actually signifies?
Certainly. Market capitalization is a fundamental metric used to assess the overall value of a company. In the case of Stanbic, its market capitalization of 1.69 trillion indicates the total market value of the bank's shares that are currently available for trading on the Uganda Securities Exchange. So it's calculated by multiplying the share price by the total number of shares outstanding. This figure is essential because it reflects the bank's size and importance within the Ugandan equity market. So Stanbic Bank Uganda's market cap represents approximately 10.5% of the entire Uganda Securities Exchange equity market.
So in a way, it's like the bank's footprint in the overall market.
It is, you could say that. And a higher market cap often indicates that the company is a significant player within the market.
All right, dear viewers, we'll be back shortly with more information concerning the stock performance of the Stanbic Bank Uganda. Thank you.